Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. Before I get started, I would appreciate it if you would hit me with a subscription, smash the like button, and turn on your notifications because I'm here twice a week. And with that said, my name is Jaime, and I'm ready to get these vents going. So let's do this, shall we, humans? Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean, is it a conspiracy? Who knows? Got this shiny foil on me from my beer there. Excuse me. If I'm all blinging over here. I'm just kidding. But, so yeah, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. We, I believe, are heading towards this Demolition Man type of scenario. I mean, they're taking away all kinds of things we can do, for one. And by Demolition Man, it's the film Demolition Man. You know, when we're in the future, Sandra Bullock, Stallone, you know, all them people. What else is in there? Wesley Snipes, you know, awesome action movie, comedy, everything. Rob Schneider's up in there. But anyways, I feel like we're heading towards that scenario with all these things that we're not able to do anymore, especially like physical contact. Like pretty soon they ain't gonna let nobody on touch nobody. It's already going to like elbow bumps and like foot taps. And in Demolition Man, it was like the air high fives. They were like, oh, you know, be well and shit. And I think we're heading over there. You can't even. Pretty soon we're gonna be able to swear. And like we're gonna get them swear tickets, just like in that shit. You already can't say stuff. They're already silencing people for saying whatever the hell they want to say, or you know, the free speech or whatever is getting attacked. So they're gonna be like giving you tickets for swearing. I feel like we're not even gonna be able to swear, for real. And even like you know, with the toilet paper shortage, you know, all these things like that. I feel like those seashells are coming. Whatever the hell they did, I never found out. Well, I'm gonna have to look up what the seashells actually did. Or did it turn on like the bidet type thing? I don't even know. But I feel like those things are on their way here. And Taco Bell is going to take over the whole food industry. Just like in the fucking movie. And I'm serious. They're already making this new Taco Bell, this like super high-tech Taco Bell, is going to be like all touchless. And I don't understand what that means by touchless. Like, it's just going to push all these buttons and then your food's going to come to your car and nobody's even going to touch your food. Like, are the machines going to be making your food too? I don't know. This is what we got to think about, humans, because it's like Demolition Man / iRobot, if you ask me. Only because now there's like, you know, stories coming out about Elon Musk straight up making human robots to do like everyday tasks. So like basically, you know, he's going to make another workforce since you guys don't want to buy his cars or something like that. Now he's going to make everybody buy these robots that are going to take your jobs anyway. You know, they're going to take some of these people's jobs. Starting at the Taco Bell, making your fucking taco food, making your Taco Bell. But these robots, he's making them full humanoid robots. And they're going to be doing like probably, who knows, like maybe taking away the male person job. Maybe they're going to take away the grocery people job. You know, what else could be doing? You know what I'm saying? From the garbage services. You know what I'm saying? There could be a lot of things happening. And, it's kind of scary, and he claims that these robots will be able to overpower them, he says, for the most part. And that's what he says he thinks. He thinks we'll be able to overpower them if need be, and that they will never want to harm a human. And then, in case of that scenario, people ask him these questions. He goes, we should be able to, for the most part, overpower them. And that means he's like not sure that we would be able to overpower them. He says they were going to be, I forget which height, but it's still big enough to be scary. You can make it 2 feet tall. It would still be scary if it's doing things on its own. You will freak me out with this robot stuff, man. You know, and what is going to happen with some people's jobs if he says like everyday tasks? There's a lot of everyday tasks in like service jobs and service needs. You know, there's a lot of everyday tasks, and these robots going to come snatch them up? That's going to suck. That's going to suck. And I'm kind of freaked out about all that stuff. And then we're going to go say something. We're going to get silenced. And then if we swear about it, we're going to get this little ticket. Just like in Demolition Damn Man. Demolition Damn Man. But that's where I feel we're heading. In some weird like abstract type of future that they're trying to mold us into. I don't even know. Um, like I don't know if we're gonna all be wearing like those big robes like the way that one guy was wearing and stuff like that. But I don't know if we're gonna be dressing all like weird like that. I hope our fashion doesn't go that way. I hope we still keep it like 2-leg pants. I hope shorts stay regular. And I hope I can still wear sweatpants. I just don't want the fashion to go all weird. Like I just don't want to take just because we're going in the future don't mean we got to like dress all weird. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like when you're seeing like Back to the Future, like everybody seems like or any movie that goes into the future, it seems like everybody messing up with the fashion. Like even Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, everybody went in all these weird directions. Like why we got to go that way? Why can't we still have like regular pants and regular sunglasses, regular clothes and jackets, not all the big shoulder pads and aerodynamics, all these extra things that we don't need. Like let them just keep the fashion, functional, because it's looking like crazy. I know, they want everybody like they got multiple or what is it? What's the word? Like unisex clothing, where some crossover type of fashion or crossing the boundaries. But that's fine with me. But still keep the pants the same way. Like I still need sweats, and I still need jeans, some sort. They don't got to be all these like weird future things we see in these futuristic films. Like they don't got to go all like wild like that. Cause it'd be weird like in those future scenarios out there cutting my grass in the future pants. It'd be weird wearing future pants. If they look all like Back to the Future pants, or whatever future pants in those films. And, cutting your grass. Or if it's that future shit and I'm going to cut my grass because I got like one of those, those robots that vacuum your house. You got the one that goes and cuts your grass already. They're, maybe they perfected that one. Or one of Elon's punk ass fucking robots is out there just, cutting the damn grass. And now I can't even do that. That'll be another thing I won't be able to do. And I go cuss at him and get a ticket. I'll cuss at the damn robot that's cutting my grass and I'll get a ticket. In my future pants. And I don't even want to wear the future pants. But I like to wear pants. You got to wear pants, right? You got to wear sweat. And I'm just talking about like sweatpants. Like if they make the sweatpants like future pants. That's all I'm saying. Like and like you got to have your favorite pair. So if it's like I can't even go out there and cut my grass in my future pants. What else is there to do if the robots are doing our everyday tasks? Those are things that I want to do. Let me go fix something outside. Oh, damn, the robot's already doing it. It's like you're forcing us to be like the people. They're trying to like mold us maybe to be like the people of Wall-E or something. Like where we just got to sit down and don't do shit, but just consume. We just going to sit there and consume. And just be like just constantly eating and, things like weird like that. And then it goes dark. Then it can go dark that way. So maybe I'll just steer away from that one. Well, tonight's the night. Tonight is that Manny Pacquiao fight against Ugas. And I'm really excited about it. I'll be watching that. I'll be tuning in tonight. There's already a lot of prelims going on. There was a lot of knockouts already from some of the earlier fights in the, the undercards. And some of the main events and co-main events are about to begin soon. And all that kind of jazz, so it's pretty cool. I'm excited about that, and like I said, I'm picking Manny to win. I don't care how he wins. I just hope he does do it. And I'm also nervous, like I said, because like I said, he said it because he won his last fights and stuff like that. And then you like wonder, when is it too long? When are you in the ring too long? Because I witnessed it a couple times myself, and that was a pretty tough thing to do. So it's just one of those times you're gonna watch with excitement, but with a little bit of nervousness at the same time. And the other night, man, I was watching the bare knuckle. There was a bare knuckle championship going on with the bare knuckle boxing. Oh my Lord! Like I said, the punches from that and not having boxing gloves is way different. Even with UFC gloves, it's a way different sound. And like you're not allowed to cover the knuckle. All you can do is like support the wrists. It almost looks like some of the guys' hand wraps got like a mini cast on them, and they just be banging. Men and women. The fights are amazing. The fights are just amazing and brutal. Like some of the rules are way different than like boxing and UFC. You got the UFC where you can, grapple and clinch, do the grapple moves and, then you got the stand up, and then where boxing is just more the hands, not so much, being able to use, headlocks or arm bars or anything like that. But this one, you can actually hook behind somebody's head while you're throwing punches, which I thought was a wild rule. Like you could literally hook this my man. I hate when I say that because I'm gonna probably even pronounce it right. But anyways, let me continue. So you can hook somebody in the back of the head while throwing, bare knuckle punches, and it's wild when these people are just locked in, just punching each other with like, then you get these one guys that just like, okay, there's no defense happening. And it looks almost like they give each other this nod and they're just like, okay, I'm not blocking. I'm just going over here. We're just going to just rock them, sock them. And that's what they'll do. They'll just go in there and just exchange punches till one of them gives. It's almost like a stare down, but with punches. These guys will sit there and trade about, maybe a 6-7 punch exchange. And then whoever jumps back first, lost that exchange. I mean, it's like, oh, that hurt the cheekbone. And it's like, oh my gosh, you guys were getting hit in the throat and everything. And these guys just keep coming. And like their bone, like dexterity, like their bone composition, like looks way different than a UFC fighter and a boxer, in my opinion. I've stated this before. Just their bones look more like you can like see them more or something like that. Like I don't know. It just looks like because they're getting hit more in a different way and not so much as a padding. And you would think that would that be, and it really looks like a difference. I'm serious. When you see these guys, they look like their arm and bodies kind of look different than the different of style of fighters, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think they look different. Not in a bad way. It's just totally distinct. Like, whoa, what do? You could see somebody out there and like, oh, what kind of athlete is this? This guy could be this, or this. And this person, you're like, whoa, this guy looks like, he's got adamantium bones or something. Like, look, these part steels or something. There's steel plates in his wrists. They just look kind of different. Like I said, it just looks wild. Because their arms are like crazy shields. Like, ka-ching, ka-ching. And it was insane. But I like that stuff, man. But I'll be tuning into that boxing match tonight, man. I'm excited. Like I said, I can hear him going on in the next room right now. I can hear like announcers going on. I can hear going on. I'm getting all excited. My feet are jumping. But anyways, keeping it on a sports note, but on like a funnier later sports note, I found a list of some sports that I never knew were like actual sports. I've heard jokes and seen memes and, things like that and yada yadas. But I never thought I would find some list of, well, like I said, there was a lot of them. And I could have went on and on, but I found a nice little group of them and I thought I would share with you humans. And like I said, some sports that you never knew were actual sports. So I'm sure if you guys were kids before like the pre-technology, a lot of your children or yourselves had the hobby horse. And the hobby horse was like the toy where like you needed imagination. There was no motor. There was no light. It was just a fucking horse head. It was also like a scary toy when you think about it. You know what I mean? It was like a horse head on a stick. And you would see some weird ones with like a wheel in the back. Like, what was that for? Like, somebody gonna actually try to start doing. You gonna turn this into like a freestyle game back then because skateboarding was the shit. Like Thrasher days, early Thrasher days. But anyways, hobby horsing is a real sport, like a sport where you got sponsorship and like leagues, like a real league, and it is exactly what it is. It's hobby horsing through like kind of like ski curves and shit. Like when you go through the slaloms and stuff, like the ski slaloms or however you say that word. The ski salmons. No, I'm just kidding. And you're going through the pylons and shit, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. But you're doing it with a fucking hobby horse. And it's a fucking sport for real, humans. Like, it's real. That's a real sport. Then you're wondering, like, where's those tryouts? You never get those emails. You don't get those flyers passed around. You're wondering where's my invite to the hobby. Maybe you can get a sponsorship. Get some sponsorship. Like, what are you doing out here? On your break time at work, and people think you're going crazy. Little they know you're actually a competitor professionally. Don't hate until you educate and know what's going on. If you see somebody outside, a grown adult, hobby horsing. Or don't be surprised if a new high school team comes out, and you get your varsity letter, and it's the new patch, and it's the hobby horse patch. It could be revolutionizing. It could be crossing platforms, and getting mainstream. Watch out for the hobby horsing Hobby horsing. Flat out. Just look out for it. Maybe try it. I got another one here. I found it was a giant pumpkin regatta. And I think this one is in Oregon. Or Oregon. I don't know how you pronounce it. If you're from there, you guys can help me out. I don't know if you can help me out in the text because you're just going to write it. But I'm just saying, I'm going to have to watch a video or hear the audio if it's Oregon or Oregon. But I apologize if I'm messing it up. But you guys have this giant pumpkin regatta. And apparently, y'all get in these really giant oversized pumpkins, hollow them out, and there's a big regatta out there on some big lake. And it looks like a lot of fun. You know, it looks like a bunch of people that are super sunburnt. Or what do they call it? Is it called the farmer tan or whatever, where you have, or the t-shirt tan, where you got the, your tan stops right there. Like in the photograph, it's like everybody has that tan, it seems like. And, going out there and they do this regatta in these big-ass pumpkins, which would be a lot of fun. I think it'd be fun. And I wonder how durable those are, because I know it can hold you and float. But like if you're bumping into people and you guys are having some drinks or something, some spirits are at this event, I don't know if they are, but it kind of looks like they are. So that's another reason it looks so much fun. But I don't know how durable they are. And if you're going through this race or having to turn around, to come back, if it's like a relay style, and, how much impact they could take, how many people lose, by, the pumpkin breaking. You got to be careful. Now, another one that's pretty wild, and I didn't think would be a real sport. I seen it in a movie, but I guess it was big in college, and now it's going kind of like I said, it's making platforms, going mainstream, and it's in Harry Potter movies. They play Quidditch. That game is for real. They're playing Quidditch for real. And they use a ball, and they use brooms, apparently, and they're running around on a field, and they play this game the same style, almost same rules, except they can't fly, you know what I'm saying? And that Golden Stitch don't fly either. But apparently they play this game, and it's inspired off of that stuff. I guess it started in 97, but they really be playing Quidditch, like, competitively. Like, it's for real. And I can't even believe that, man. But it looks fun. It's still kind of wild. I don't understand why you would still need, if you don't, you ain't flying, I don't know why you would need a stick between your legs. But then you got to ask, then you go back to, well, why don't you ask the people that do the hobby horsing? And then they would answer your question, sir. No, I guess it adds some kind of element, another competitive element. So who knows, back in the day, your parents already knew this was a sport. And that's why everybody had the hobby horse. It was just popularized. They didn't put no hobby horsers in the Olympics, or you didn't make the Wheatie box from hobby horsing. And apparently not from Quidditch either. There ain't no Air Quidditch Jordans. Nobody getting a shoe deal, from Puma. The Puma Quidditch shoes. Another wild one I saw was chess boxing. All right, I know what chess is, and I love me some boxing. Boxing's not in the other room right now. But it's like chess and boxing. They're in a boxing ring. They got the chess out there. They're playing the game, and I don't really understand the rules. And all of a sudden, they'll move the chessboard, and these two players will who are not, professional boxers, will go out there and start beating the shit out of each other. They'll start boxing. And then they'll pull the boxing ring back, bring the table back in, and then they'll start playing some more chess. And I thought this was some entertaining stuff. And then I went down a rabbit hole, like, this is for real? And then you hear this guy like, yo, man, this was like my first chess. This wasn't my first chess match, and I'm no fighter. And I'm thinking, like, what is this, man? Do they I thought they were like punching each other across the table. But just like out of the match, I don't know if they tie or something. I don't know what happens. All of a sudden, they just move the table, and they just start going at it in the boxing ring. And it is hilarious because they're not the most skilled or technical boxers, which makes it super entertaining. And I loved it. But I didn't understand it, but it was really fun, and I didn't know that was a real sport. And it's starting to gain momentum. I think it's over in Europe, and it looks wild. Chess boxing. And I'm probably late to the game because when I looked in there, man, there was, hundreds and hundreds of this, events. Another one that's just kind of wild. Cardboard Fighting League. Now, there's those LARP games, the live action role play or whatever, where, they have them, medieval fight scenes and, react all those kind of things. And I wonder if this is like something that has to deal with it. But the armor looks different because it's basically only restricted to cardboard. Because when you see some of the LARP events, their armor and stuff like that looks like a little more than just cardboard. A lot of it looks really more durable type of armor and things like that. But this is a cardboard fighting league, specifically cardboard, and it's pretty wild. And it's a real sport event, obviously. And these people have this event all the time. It's like multiple events per year, and you make your own weapons, shields, armor of some sorts. You sign up for this tournament, and you go in there and get beat up by cardboard, and it looks pretty interesting if you ask me. But it's a cardboard fighting league, and you got to check it out, man. It's pretty great. It was pretty great. Not as weird to me as the chess boxing, but the hobby horsing one still has me blown away. And when you think it's going to get weirder than that, you come back over here to America, and then they have which is called the Summer Redneck Games, and it's almost like the Summer Olympic Games, but it's basically the redneck sports. And I guess that's how the guy explained it in the article. There's like belly flop contest, armpit serenades. I guess you got to do the armpit fart songs. There was all kinds of different events, which I can't remember them all. But it's the Redneck Games, and it looks like a blast. So that's another one I haven't got to look up yet, but I plan on looking up that rabbit hole and checking out some of those events because I'm sure they're going to be great and entertaining. Especially the belly flop one, and depending on what type of day it is, it's the fart serenade. Because the sweatier and maybe the bigger the competitor, probably you're going to get some great notes. We're probably going to get some great notes on the scale. We're going to be great, dude. It'd be entertaining. I would think so. The Summer Redneck Games. My only question is, why aren't these all on TV yet? I'm over here just finding them on YouTube, and they should be on TV, man. There's like a bunch of dumb shit on TV. You can put these on there, and people will watch this stuff. I mean, come on. Come on, what you waiting for? And I got another one here. Extreme ironing. That's exactly what it is. Ironing in like extreme conditions. Like I seen one where a man was on top of like this weird little, like it almost looked like in Looney Tunes when Wile E. Coyote's got that little piece of rock he wants to fall on the Roadrunner, and it's sitting on a little piece of stone, and you're on this little thin piece of rock. And he tried to blow up the earth for the bird, and it just left him on this little piece of earth. And this guy was on this little piece of earth, and he was ironing up there on this piece of stone. And then another guy was hanging on a cliff like a rock climber, and he's like upside down like a bat. And then he's got the ironing board on his knees, and he's straight ironing like while hanging on this, like while free climbing and hanging on this rock wall. And it's like extreme conditions, and you have to do these, it can only, it has the more extreme, the higher the score in places you can iron. It's extreme ironing, humans. And that's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. So I thought I would share a couple of funny, some date stories. I found some before, and I found a few more, and I thought these ones were great. They're like awkward date moments, some more like awkward date stories, and these are always fun. These are like some of the fun things to read. I've got one to share myself. I'll share one in here, which is kind of funny, and we'll see how it goes. Like I said, some awkward dating moments. So this person says their date offered to get a glass of coffee or a cup of coffee, to get a glass of coffee, to get a cup of coffee before they go see their movie. And the woman replied to the person who asked this date, asked the question. She says, "Nah, because coffee gives me diarrhea." And before she could even, realize what she just said, she already said it. Like, "Oh man, coffee gives me the shits." Like I can't do that. And, then let's continue the date. I wonder how awkward that was after that moment. She just pretty much said, "No, that gives me," I don't know. I would appreciate the honesty, but I think it would be a little awkward afterwards. Somebody just kind of flat out was like, "Oh man, I'm going to get the shits." Because then, what if all you think about is you're picturing that person shitting, and not just like shitting, but they're like doing like horrible diarrhea shitting. It's not just like going to the bathroom regular, like, oh, just everything's regular. You know what I mean? It's when somebody's just going there and blowing the spot up. And the one like I'm talking about in that Target story, I don't know if you guys heard that story. They thought it was a bomb threat at a Target because a guy went into the bathroom and said, "Don't go in there. I'm about to blow it up." And he was talking about going in there and going to the bathroom, like, unloading, going number 2 really bad. And everybody knows in like the slang terms, you're going to blow it up. They're going to go number 2, and it might smell and be, vicious. It might even have some sound effects with it. So I guess he told the people going to the bathroom, "I'm going to blow the spot up. Don't go in there." And so they called the police. Well, man was just going in there to take a shit. But I don't know where that took his story in. Because the lady said she had diarrhea. Or coffee makes her have diarrhea. It'd be awkward on the date. And I was just thinking about diarrhea. And then I would be thinking about, where we go to dinner and stuff. Is this going to be okay or is this going to give you diarrhea? You could have fun with it and it might annoy the other date, though. That's probably something I would do. I would take it far. It might be funny the first time, and I wouldn't know it was it, and I would just keep running with it to where it just annoy you. Be like, hey, how about some Chinese? Or will it give you diarrhea? You know what I'm saying? There's an Italian spot. Diarrhea? How about some drinks? Oh, these drinks will give you diarrhea. And maybe it'll just annoy her, and then it would make it awkward both ways. All right. Let's see. I got another one here. Oh, wait. So they were set up on a blind date by their grandparents. And they thought it would be a good idea. Maybe it's a nice guy. Maybe they met him at church. Who knows? Maybe they met him at the grocery store or at church. And so they set the person, their grandchild, up on this blind date. And little did they know they were going to be in a blind double date. Because when she showed up, they were on a double date with the actual grandparents who set them up. I'd have been kind of up. It would have been cute. I would have been not rude, but I would totally would have sucked at the same time. Like I would have been like, oh damn, because you can't really be who you want to be on this date because your grandparents are right there. Because maybe you two had a connection, or maybe you guys were attracted to each other. But then you got to be real nice and goody because your grandma's right there. Your gams, or your nanas. They're right there, and your papa and your grandpa. And all them stuff are right there. And you guys over here trying to make a connection with them just standing there, It'd be awkward. It'd be super awkward. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. And I got one of my own personal stories. A couple of them, which I'm planning on sharing right now. So, whoever it is out there, well, the first one I'm going to share is my wife now. I couldn't believe that she actually stayed with me and went on another date with me after this because I thought it was a big date no. So when I was first dating my wife now, took her to see Passion of the Christ. That's not necessarily like a go-to date movie. And I really liked her too. And I was just like, I was like, and I wanted to see the film. I got to pick the film and I went and picked something like this for a date movie. And then afterwards, I'm watching this movie. She's sleeping. I think she fell asleep one time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst. She's never gonna call me again. This is it. I'm probably gonna be made fun of, or whatever. And then, the movie's over and I was like, I was really embarrassed. I was sitting here. I was blushing. I'm like, hey, so what'd you think? I knew she didn't like the movie. I was like, and she was a good sport about it. And like I said, I didn't think it was going to go further than this. I was all crushed on the way home. I was by my, heading home after dropping her off and stuff. And I'm just like, man, she's not going to call me back. I was like, I took her to a 3-hour boring ass movie about Jesus, and I was like, that is not a romantic movie. It's not a movie you're going to go to and expect to make out or something afterwards. So I was like, and miraculously she did. She did return. She did call me back, and it was another thing. But I had one that's like a not so. This one's like a little crazier. Like this one was one of those like bad dating moments, like one of those awkward moments. It was like just really awkward, you know. And this was when I was single, like before my wife now, like before I was dating her. I was like, it was on my younger single days, and my friend set me up on a blind date with a person. We ran into this person together at a spot together, and I kind of just like, you know, had conversations, was cool. And then people thought, you know, hey, did you guys like this person? Yeah, this and that between, you know, had a middle person. And they were like, y'all should hang out, you know, try to set it up, you know. So I'm like, cool. She seemed really nice. I'm in. Set it up. Well, it didn't really go as like I planned. And I probably didn't go as well like she planned as well either. And it's not a knock on the person. Super nice person, just had some things going on, and maybe dating was just a little too soon. Like maybe it's just a little too soon to go out on the scene or something. And I just happened to be the one to confirm that. I happened to be the one. I was the date that like confirmed maybe you don't need to be dating right now. You know, maybe it was just a little, or maybe I was the one. I was like the too soon date. Like that was me. It was really awkward, and I'm going to share this. Like I said, no disrespect. I just had to share because I feel like it was a lesson learned by both of us. Like, I mean, I think it was. I think it was a learning experience from both sides of this date. So I'll continue. So we get to the date. I get there. The date, she's late. No big deal. You know, weather was kind of crappy. I didn't think it was going to even happen because the weather was a little iffy. So she shows up. We're talking. You know, everything's going nice. Set up on my friend. Seems like it's going okay. And then like a few minutes in, like I said, it's going great. Get a couple of drinks. Meaning like one for you and one for me. And then during the middle of that drink, this conversation just like spun out of control. It just spun in a weird direction. It wasn't like I was like really off guard. You know, it was just called me really off guard. So I started getting the life story. And then I'm thinking, okay, we only had one drink. It's still the same drink. Maybe she's a lightweight or maybe something like that. Seemed like she was already maybe under the influence, like intoxicated. She seemed way like that little drink had her already like drunk or something. Because she started talking about a lot of drama. It first started like some cool things. You know, we started talking about a little bit about me, a little bit about you. That was kind of cool. Then it got to too much personal life. Then it got to the whole life of all this crazy drama. And I'm like, whoa. And then like the story was getting so crazy, like where the other tables could hear, and they're all kind of like, you know, adjusting their chairs and shit. Like, honey, you got to hear this. You know, oh, what? Like everybody sat their shoulders like this. Because now everybody's listening to all this drama. And I'm like, man, I'm like shrinking in my chair like, damn. And we ain't got a booth. We got one of the tall tables. So it ain't no hiding. Okay, so she already gave him the life story, right? And then it was like the too much information during the life story, you know, like, you know, descriptive bowel movements and stuff like that, you know, about blowing the spot up, you know, and crazy things like that was coming out. And then like during the conversation, she would say, you know, I haven't been on a date a long time, and then just have this weird breakdown and like cry for like a second, like make a cry face. And she would just, you know, I ain't been on a date for long. And I was like, and I would get all uncomfortable. I was like, oh man, are you okay? And she was like, yeah. And she would just keep talking. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I didn't know what to do. And then like just randomly, she'd like, and I was like, oh shit. So I was trying to keep my composure and be real calm and try to like, you know, say things like, you know, just like try to make jokes and, you know, but not about like, you know, and then he beat me up so bad, you know, and like broke my jaw and my nose, and I was in the hospital, you know, and I'd be like, you're alive, you know, like I was trying to think of something to just like make jokes during these like awkward drama stories, you know, and he pulled a knife on me, you know, and the cops came just as he was about to stab. It was like so close to my chest and my neck, and like he was just going to like swipe up everywhere. And I'm like, you know, on the bright side, it was Friday. You know, I didn't know what to do. I was like so like doing a lot of that stuff during this whole time. And it was like I felt like back to window corner, and I was saying dumb stuff. She was doing things to make it awkward. I was doing things to make it awkward. And like I said, I think it was a learning experience from both of us. Like I said, because during these like, crazy, tragic, like domestic violence stories and stuff, like I was trying to like I was like awkwardly throwing jokes in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you bob and weave or something? Like, did you get a counterpunch? I was like, did you stop, drop, and roll when he tried to set you on fire? I didn't know what to do. Like I said, I started panicking and throwing like awkward jokes out on like serious stories he was saying. But it was a learning experience because I learned not to do that. Because I think I don't know. Like I said, you learn from mistakes, and I think I made mistakes during that conversation and that date, and so did she. And like I said, you learn, you live and you learn. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you did, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button, hit me with a subscription, and turn on your notifications because I'm here twice a week. And my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.